last soundbite, we briefly went over a bit of theory behind the formation of different chord shapes on the guitar. And we defined the term chord voicing as being a rearrangement of the notes of a chord using different strings or fret positions. And we defined the word inversion as being a special case of a chord voicing where the rearrangement of notes results in a note other than the root note of the chord being heard as the lowest sound in the chord. In practical terms, the difference between using root position chords and inversions matters little when you're simply using different voicings to embellish your guitar playing. Today I want to get you on the road to putting this information to use by looking at some voicings that use just the top 3 strings on the guitar. Last lesson we took the C major chord and figured out that it contained the notes C, E and G. Then we looked at all the possible places on the fretboard that these 3 notes appear. You can see that if we then divide these up into feasible chord shapes on the top 3 strings, it gives us 3 clear shapes. I've circled 4 shapes here, but notice that the last one is simply a repeat of the first one an octave higher. Remember, all fretboard patterns repeat every 12 frets. To make sure we can apply these ideas equally well to any chord, it's important to get away from thinking of specific notes and instead get used to thinking in intervals. So I have replaced the note names C, E and G with interval designations. R for root note, 3 for third and 5 for fifth. Notice I've also done away with the fret numbers so that this now represents a floating pattern that can be moved around the fretboard to work with any major chord. Don't worry too much if this makes little sense at the moment. All should become clearer as we move forward. So for the chord C, for example, I may want to embellish that by adding this voicing rooted there, which is C at fret 5 on the G string, on up to the top end of the E string bar chord. So that's C at fret 8, and then on up to this little D-shaped C with the root fret 13 on the second string. If I then want to do a similar thing for another chord, F for example, I find it helps to use the root notes as a guide. Those are the notes that I've coloured red in these diagrams. So for this D shape, for example, the root is on the second string. So to use that to embellish an F, I need to find an F note on the second string. So that's B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. So that becomes the point of the triangular D-shaped pattern, and that gives me that voicing of the F chord. For the next shape up, the root is on the third string. So I've got this F here. Well, I know I can find an F on the third string just by moving 4 frets higher up. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So that helps me locate that voicing of the F chord. can find the third shape rooted on the top E string. So if we come up to the double dots here, the 12th fret, on the E string we know that's an E. So the next note up, fret 13, must be an F, and we can place our inversion of the F chord there like that, and then we can blend that in with the other inversions. These ideas need grooving in with lots of repetition, like this. So I'm playing open C, followed by C rooted at fret 5, C rooted at fret 8, C rooted at fret 13, then I'm playing F, open position, rooted at fret 6, rooted at fret 10, rooted at fret 13, back to C, looking ahead all the time, F, looking at fret 6, looking at fret 10, looking at fret 13, oops, wrong shape, back to C, this is why you have to repeat them. F, hours of fun. Then I'd also work this backwards, starting at the highest shape, C, F, just repeating them until they become familiar. Work them randomly, just really jumping around from shape to shape. C, F, C, F, and so on. And finally, you can begin to improvise a little bit with these ideas, work them into your playing over both these chords. Maybe something like this. Found this little video useful, please do click on the like button if there is one, or leave a comment, and do feel free to share the video with your friends. And if you'd like to gain full access to all our guitar teaching materials, please visit the Secret Guitar Teacher site and take a free look round at what's available there. See you again soon.